Today, let's talk about Diamond Trust Bank or DTB, or how it's listed in Nairobi Security Exchange as DTK. It's known as one of the most undervalued bank listed in Nairobi Security Exchange, and you will see that as we continue. This bank makes its money by lending, charging fees, offering financial services, just like any other bank, but it's across East Africa. It's in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, and Burundi. And why would somebody be interested in the Diamond Trust Bank? One, it's undervalued. Its share is trading at a very undervalued price. The other thing, it has a regional presence across multiple East African countries. Then it's focused in SME. So, if we come back to the financials of DTB, you would ask yourself, why is it so undervalued compared to the other banks? These are the audited accounts for DTB as at 31st December 2025. We need to check how far this share is undervalued. I told you the other day, if you want to see the valuation of a share, you take the shareholders' equity and then you divide by the total shares outstanding. If you come here, and which means shareholders' equity is the same as saying total assets minus total liability. In this case, the total assets, and you get this under the balance sheet or the statement of financial position. For DTB, the total asset is 659 billion. Total liabilities is 546 billion. If you take 659 minus 546, you get a figure of 113 billion. But remember the other time I told you we don't include the non-controlling interest. So you have to remove this 11.9 billion and you get total shareholders equity of 101 billion. Divide the total shareholders equity with the total shares outstanding. If you Google that figure of how much total shares outstanding are for DTB, you'll get a figure of around 0.27 billion. So take the 101 billion divided by billion, you will get that DTB, its book value share is 0.279. So if you compare that with the price that it's trading in at the moment, which is 150, it's grossly undervalued. Now let's leave that aside. Let's look at the other numbers. If you look at the dividend yield, we get it from dividend per share divided by the share price, you multiply by 100. So it's 9 bob divided by the share price of 150 and multiply by 100. You'll get a figure of 6%. So if you invest in DTB now, it's like you are getting a return of 6% in terms of dividends. But if you compare this 6% with its peers in the industry, let's take KCB at the moment. The book closure has already happened, which was on 2nd of April. If you take the dividend plus the price of KCB, which is around 68, 67 there, its dividend yield is 10.26. It ranges between 9 to 10%, a good dividend yield. If you look at equity, also dividend yield, the book closure not yet, I think it's around end of this month, I need to confirm that date. If you take the dividend yield for equity, it's around 7 to 8%. Currently, the dividend yield is 7.69% if you do with the current price of equity. So if you compare these two dividend yields for equity and KCB and for DTB, equity and KCB, they are giving a better dividend yield than DTB, hata kama iko undervalued. Take another figure we call return on equity, which is net profit you divide by shareholders equity and you multiply by 100. What is return on equity? Return on equity is how much profit a company generates from the money shareholders have invested. A higher return on equity means that a company is using money well. A low return on equity means that the company is less efficient. Let's look at the one for DTB. If you look at its net profit, Where is this net profit? Its net profit is 10.7 billion. Its shareholders equity, we got that figure here. It's around 113 billion. Hapa kumbuka, we are including the non-controlling interest. Why? Because hata hapa kwa net profit, focus, kwa net profit, the non-controlling interest is part of the 10.7 cause hapa ndio inakuja inatolewa inakuwa 9.4, but we are taking the 10.7 divided by the 113, you multiply by 100, you get a figure of 9.4%. That means return on equity for DTB is 9.4%. So in other words, it's only able to generate 9.4 profit from the money that shareholders have invested. If you compare that with its peers, equity, the return on equity using its audited financial statement for 31st December, return on equity is 26.7%. Just imagine, KCB, return on equity is 22.5%. So in other words, these two banks are giving better return on equity compared to DTB, and no wonder that's why it's undervalued. So you do all this calculation before you invest. Thank you.